Welcome everybody. Back from John's. I've got a little mess going here. I'm gonna clean up real quick, and then we'll get to work on some of the Tucker. Coming down with something. I got a sore throat. Okay, let me pick some of this stuff up. As you can see, not having any place to work, it gets quite messy. I'm going to try something new here. I have a tablet that I'm going to turn on. Give me a second here. I'm going to turn this on so I can see the chat while I'm at the bench. We'll see how that works. I hope you enjoyed the show yesterday. I'm going to show you the outcome of exactly what happened. Everything turned out great. Got some new members from Holland. We picked up several members yesterday. That's good. And I hate not having any place to work. Makes it very difficult. Okay, looks like the tablet's coming up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I got to save these. These are for the Ringmaster. We'll work on the Ringmaster a little bit today. I'm going to try to get as much done today as I can. But there again, there's no rush on these airplanes because we're in the cold season now. It's cold out, probably, I don't know, 40 degrees. It's cold to me. I can't see the chat yet, but let's see whether we can get it up here. Okay, want to go to YouTube. Live streams. One watching. Gotta mute the sound. Okay, want to go to YouTube? Where's the sound here? Okay, we got the sound off. The chat is open. We want to pop out the chat. I've never used a. Okay. I can put that right there. And I'll be able to see the chat while I'm my back's to the wall. I don't know how that'll work, but we'll give her a whirl, Earl. All right, so I know most guys that are doing this streaming business are well organized and they edited it out. And I used to do that, but it's just so time consuming that it's not worth it. You know, these streams, I appreciate the super chats yesterday because the streams out in the field cost a lot of money to run. Here I'm running on my Wi-Fi, but the super chats still help with the bandwidth. Of course, I kick back to Rusty when I can for his input. So when you're donating to the super chat when Rusty's on, he gets that. What a mess. Almost got it. Hey, Chris Perkins, good afternoon. Like I say, I can see the chat now while I'm facing the. I'm not. See, the streaming equipment is behind me, so it's impossible for me to keep an eye on the chat. But now we have the chat up on the tablet here. Right here, I can see the chat on my tablet. Give me another minute here. I should have all this mess cleaned up. Well, I know I had a broom. Ah, there it is. It's another little popsicle stick. You love the subtitles. I don't know what the subtitles we got going, but glad you like them, whatever they might be. Let me turn on my stud hanger banner. Yep, transition. Forgot about that. I'm using OBS today, so it's hard to run everything. I'll reposition the camera here in a second so you can get an idea of what I'm doing exactly. I'm going to go over the wing with you guys. Now, I had it over John's, and it's probably the best, some of the best work I've ever done. It's pretty damn nice. Of course, my Thunderbolt might have been up to the same standard, but most of my stuff, I try to do a nice job. Three watchers. I'm gonna try to work on a fuselage some today, because I got my pieces cut over John's on the bandsaw, sander, jigsaw, whatever I had to use. All right, we have my little work area cleaned off. So, let's get the wing. No place to sit, nothing. I caught you before you hit the ground. All right, here's my wing. You saw that John made my horns yesterday for me. And we'll get a close-up of that here. As I get this position, we'll position it on out. Okay. Here again, we could talk about my pocket hinges. Now this particular elevator stabilizer is done in the old school style, where both the trailing edge of the stab and the leading edge of the elevators are rounded. Where my later model ones, this is pocketed into this, but I didn't want to change the profile of the airplane too much, so I kept the elevator 3/8 and the stab 3/8, so you can't do that. Anyway, here's the horn and wire. Let's see if we can get a good shot of that. This camera really doesn't take super clear close-ups, but it's not too bad. But you see the bearing, the hinges, and the horn are in bearings, so that these are super free. Now, if you look, they flop, but they don't flop quite good enough. So before I install these, I'll be working on these probably, 5 hours or so, whatever it takes to get them to be 100% free. They got a slight bind in them. And I don't mean working on them by working them back and forth. I mean working on them by isolating the hinge that's binding. So I'll sand, free up. Like yesterday, I had and I still have it some. I'll be working on these flaps too till they drop. If you look at these flaps here, see they stay up and they don't fall down. Well, that's because they're tight. And rocking them back and forth like this will not work them in. You have to go in and cut, relieve the pocket of the hinge, straighten the hinge up, adjust, sand, whatever, until these fall down. And I'll work on that. And I probably won't do that on camera because it's very boring. Repetition. Kind of the same old thing. Without input from you guys, by sending me an email, phone call, text, whatever, I don't know what you want to see. A thumbs down does not help the channel, because I don't know what a thumbs down means. Like yesterday, I already got a couple. Hey, great, you gave it a thumbs down. You don't like it, don't watch. But if you want it to improve, you got to tell me what I got to do. I know that you would like for me to edit and do them, but it's just too much work. Got to look through my spinners here. My crash of my airplane cost me one of my unobtainium spinners, so I might have to make another one. I thought I had one, but I don't see it anywhere. Of course, with as unorganized as this place is, it might be here somewhere. I don't know. But I do have another needle nose. I just need another end and a washer. Wait a minute. No, that's an end to a Randy spinner. But I do have a couple of classic, the rounded spinners yet. So we could use those. whatever. So I thought I had one, but I bought a big box of junk, big box of parts, and I think I only paid, maybe it was $20 or $40. I don't know. It was at the swap meet. I mean, it's a lot of stuff, and it has. I did have. Where is it? Oh, here we go. It had in it a Brodak 1 3/4 spinner that's $23.99. Of course, it's missing something. I don't know, probably the nut or something, but this is a copy of a Randy Smith spinner. I don't know whether Brodak has any more of these or whatever, but it's a good deal. Got about, I don't know, 20 Williams Brothers pilots in there and just all kind of stuff. So anyway, this is the wing. The pictures don't do it justice. It's 9 ounces. There'll be no scalloping in the leading edge because this is a foam covered leading edge. All the joints are tight, sanded smooth. It has 2 coats of dope on it. It's been sanded with 1200 sandpaper, so it's smooth as a baby's behind. And that's good. Let's get working on the fuselage. Hopefully I can find all the fixings I need for that. Okay, got Tommy Looper here. Tommy Looper's going to be flying this airplane. He's going to put Super Looper on there. This is the headrest that I cut yesterday and just roughed in. So now we have to tack the top block on. But first, we need to mount the engine and the nose ring. And that takes a little bit of doing. Let me raise this up. So you can get a better bird's eye view of what I'm doing. Oh. There we go. I think this black top makes it go in and out of focus. So we have the tucker here. Let's put the plans out. We'll fold them so that I can see the fuselage. I got these Tucker special plans. I think it was at Brodak, cost me $1. I think that's where I wound up with the Fox 35 I sent to Jeff Wiley. But we're going to have a much more powerful engine in this for the same weight. So that'll be a good thing. Okay. That should cause the camera to stop going in and out of focus, I hope. Let's see here. I also can use the mouse on that. because the mouse will work and pick up the, yep. Now I can go where I need to be with this as well. Let's look at this here, and we'll pull this out. And down here, no, I can't see it there. So, okay. Now, I was asked yesterday, you know, I built this from plans. Well, I don't build from plans normally. I normally build from my head. We did change up a couple of things. This is going to have a cowl, removable cowl on it. Instead, you know, this is a modern day Tucker. Updated. So while I was over John's, I took this top block and I cut it down to 3/4. Because that's what it, or 7/8, because that's what it calls for. 7/8, yep. I took a 1-inch piece and milled off 1/8 of an inch. So we're going to tack this on and rough it out. If I can find my plane. Morning, Mike. So, tack it on in a couple spots. Get the glue to come out. It's always the case. I just, somebody made a comment on the Bill Warwich building an I-beam wing video. You know, Bob Hunt did that video. Gave me permission to post that because you guys wanted to see how to build an I-beam wing. You didn't want to pay the $10 or whatever the heck it was to Bob Hunt. So we ended up posting it up anyway. I watched that video and you know that video is more professional than what I'm doing here. It was scripted, shot, edited. You know, there's probably, it's an hour-long video. There's probably 20 hours of work in 1 hour, but could be more. Hard telling. I know I was going to mount the engine, but we're going to trim this up first, and then let's see here. Where's my jacket? I think I put my plane in the jacket. Well, I might have another plane here. Nope, here it is right here. Don't want to lose these. Okay. How I normally do these and do these quick is with a block plane. razor plane, whatever, and we're going to make a mess. Do not dig into the side. Now you could put masking tape on it, and I probably will because I don't want to dig in the side. Yep, I hear it come loose. It'll be all right. Take your time when you're doing this stuff. I know I make it look easy and I can do it fast, but lots of experience. You guys certainly wouldn't, hey David, good morning. I'm not Rusty, I'm Sparky. Rusty might be on here, but he hasn't said anything yet. Okay, one side's close. I'll clear off the shavings. I don't want these all over the apartment. I don't think the landlord would like that. When I'm at home, I can do whatever I want. I think I might have to get the charger to charge that tablet. I don't think the batteries are very good in it. But it makes a decent monitor that I can watch the chat with. I can't type back at you from here, but I can talk at you. Proper tool for the job makes things go a lot faster. You know, I see guys that would sand this and sand and sand. Well, I'm going to sand, but we're going to get it close first. And if I was in St. Louis, I'd be using 30 grit when I do sand. I don't have it here. Okay. That has trimmed those sides. There's a hard spot in this thing. There we go. I just trimmed those sides relatively close, within the 4 or 5 thousandths. But I don't want to dig up the tape. So clean this off. And we'll start looking where it tapers from and to. And I'll get the outline edge, and then we'll go ahead and round it up. Now all the Tucker builds, everything I've done, except for the doping, when I put a couple coats of dope on it, has been on camera. And you know what? Now that I think about it, it might be on camera too. So I don't have a whole lot of time in this Tucker. Been 1 hour a day, ever how many days, you know, when I've been working on it. I haven't really worked more than an hour at a time. That's where it cracked loose right there. I see the line right there. I'm going to have to try to take a back saw and saw that through. Of course, I do have a carpenter saw. I can saw the nose off there. It's got to get cut off about 1/8 of an inch. I should have done it over John's on the disc bender. Okay, but we can do this anyway. We can get the rudder fitted. So we're down to 3/16 of an inch on the tail on the underside. And it starts way up there. So it starts tapering just under the wing here. So we need to cut off quite a bit, really. But we'll plane that off. Leaving room for sanding. Okay. Now, if I had a couple pieces of metal, I could clamp that to the bottom and plane the metal. But I think I'm just going to have to do it by eye. Yeah, make sure you can see it. I don't want to get too excited, too aggressive with this because I don't want to go too far. So, that's what it is. I'm not seeing my OBS. Hold on a second. Got to get the OBS open. Looking at the wrong screen. There we go. Okay. So that quick, I took that much in a taper off that. Now I'm not quite down to the line, but as I stated, I don't want to get too aggressive because the crown, it gets rounded off. And we got to do the same thing to the top. So we'll just work it back and forth until I got it. So the top gets worked down to here, and it starts here. So it starts right there. So we got to basically cut the crap out of it. I might want to do that with a knife. You see there how much it gets cut off. So we're going to do that with a knife. Take all day doing that. So I got a cutting board here somewhere. Normally when I'm at home, I would use power tools. I would take a bandsaw or jigsaw or whatever and do that with, but I'm working in the motel room. So we're going to cut outside that because I don't want it to cut too much, but you want to hold the knife perpendicular to the table. 90 degrees for those guys who don't know what perpendicular is. Now we can plane it. Close enough. Type your questions in. We can have a chat on Jitsi afterwards if you like. Okay, this headrest gets tacked here. Of course, it's not flat, so we're going to have to sand that flat. Pretty good. This rudder needs to fit close, but you guys watch me go right. Well, I don't do it that way. Well, that's how I do it. I want to see what Tommy Looper looks like sitting in the cockpit. So we're going to get that done today. Okay. See, we're only an inch away. Keep. I don't think this angle's ever going to be right. So what do we got to do here? We're going to need to fudge on the bottom. So T. Michael Jennings has my tagline above his bench. Finish starts with the first piece of wood cut, and believe me, it does. So if you're going to have a nice finish, have nice joints. We're going to cut, trim, whatever we got to do to get this to fit. Yeah, we're close. Sorry, it's not very exciting, but that's what you get when you watch this channel. Boring sanding and inane comments. So, yeah, you could superfill, cut this large and superfill it. One, it's not as strong, and two, it's heavier. And three, I wanted my classic airplane a 20 pointer, so So I need to sand this edge here a little bit. Pussy bueno. Now, you would say, well, most people would say, well, that's good enough. The fit on this. It is and it isn't. I could make that work under normal circumstances, but these are not normal circumstances. I want a super nice airplane, so we're going to fiddle with that fit a little bit more. Then this gets glued on here. Of course, it's not quite straight, so let's see, is this straight? That's straight, so this is not. This is warped a little bit. It's got a crown in it right here, so we'll sand that crown out. And by the time I sand that crown out, this rudder should fit in without pushing. Now I have another T-handle sanding bar here somewhere. I did have. Of course, I don't know. There it is. This T-handle sanding bar will get the entire length to keep it flat. Make sure it's level. It is. Pretty good. Fits a little better. Actually, it fits good enough. Now you can do this one or two ways. Let's see. Yes, Jack, here I am. I'm back. Now the way that this is done, this airplane has been built. If the fuselage sides are parallel or at 90 degrees to the datum line, which they are, at the tail post, the rudder should be 0. So if you line the rudder up with the side of the fuselage, which I did here, it's at 0, and it is. I see where the infarction is here. Now there's two ways to do this. Oh, I think I mentioned that. You can hollow this out and then glue it on, is the way we're going to do it. Or you could glue it on and then hollow it out after it's carved to shape. But I think that it would be best to tack it, draw it, cut it back off, hollow it out, glue it back on, and hollow the inside of the top block after it's done. So how we're going to do this, so we don't have to use too much putty, because we want to keep this airplane. I'd like to see it at 38 ounces, but that's a big call, big tough call with today's materials. How I'm going to do this is I'm going to mark this rudder location here. You want to leave this flat. And if I was really slick, I'd put a piece of plywood up there to leave it flat. Sand of the plywood, but I don't want to make a big project out of it. I'm good enough that I can do it. We're not even going to tack this on. We're just going to eyeball it. I think that I need to... I need to draw a straight line on this fuselage because it's bow down a little bit there. I don't have the spinner on it yet, but we'll eyeball it. Should be right there. And this should be right here. I need to draw a line. For this, I should use a pencil, but I don't have one, so I got the only pen that I've ever had that will draw on balsa wood every time. Okay, so now put this back on and off, on and off. In its designated position. Now it's offset a little bit, and it also has an airfoil on it, because these old airplanes, you really need to build in whatever you can for line tension, because they're light. So let's put this back on, and this goes in the center. Now I don't have one of these airplanes handy. And to be honest with you, the only ones I've seen are poorly built, or the original that's hanging on the wall that's 25 foot away from me, so I can't see it. So now we need to get a cockpit hole, where the location of that is. I'll try to keep this so I can vacuum it up. See, there needs to be a detail here to how the fuselage goes up to the headrest. but there's not. So I'm just gonna have to, whatever I like, I guess is what I'm gonna get. And that goes there. And I guess it's just a, quarter. Now I won't cut that hole into it until after it's shaped so that I can get it shaped right. But I did want it, I wanted a curved dashboard. Whether, here again, I can't see whether that's correct or not. I have this, a big bag of crap that I bought. Had a P51 windshield in it, and I've cut it, and it's pretty close. I thought about using it as my windshield because it already has a frame stamped in, and these windshields here were just a flat piece of clear cellulose, acetate, whatever plastic, and this here is a formed canopy, so might use this depending. So Tommy Looper is going to be sitting here. Yeah. Should be interesting. You know, if I was really slick, I'd do what I did on my Monado and make that transition. I might do that. That's a little hard, little difficult to do, but where I'm at, I have nothing but time. So we got 16 watchers. How many thumbs up we got? I can't see. Should have a minimum of 16. And if you don't like it, you shouldn't be here. We got 10. YouTube streaming. There we go. Well, we want OBS. There we go. We got OBS open, running. Okay, does everybody understand how I arrived at all this? I mean, I basically, I don't have any shape here. I just have everything close, and it'll take virtually no time to shape this. Don't plane into your lines, because that's where you're gonna glue to. Here again, what we're going to do is we're going to get this close because there's longerons in this fuselage. This radius will go way down into the fuselage side into the longeron, and then we'll cut it apart and sand the longerons out. So that I can get a really nice shapely airplane. Otherwise, you just have a box. Anybody that's seen my Continental knows that the fuselage width at the leading edge of the stab is like a profile. It's a ½ inch, but it's oval. And you wonder, how the heck do you do that? Well, that's the longerons, and then sand the longerons out. I've got to turn this heat off. I'll let you know when it's starting to freeze. It'll have to go back on. Now, if I was going to build Tucker Specials all the time, I'd build a mold block for that top and mold that piece. But this is something that I'm not going to be doing all the time. Unless it flies super good, which it might. Yesterday, John and I were comparing it to a Nobler. And they're so, everything is so damn close, it's ridiculous. Good time for a soda. I don't have any music to play because YouTube will give you a strike. So it's kind of dead silence. If you got a question, ask it while I'm drinking my soda here, taking a break. Ah. There we are. We got 15 viewers. Here we have one side roughed in, very rough, but do the bottom too. I'll put a center line on the bottom. I don't know who drew these plans, but they're not very good previews. We got bulkhead side. Let's see who did them. These are from Karsten's Flying Models. Now, how I normally do these is I rough it in, cut it off, hollow it out, and then glue it back on and finish it out. So you have to kind of guess. When you cannel it, you sand it until it's pink. And I mean, it does turn pink. And then sand from the outside. And you just got to keep feeling to make sure you don't sand it so thin that it pokes through. See, I'm getting into the longerons now. That's okay. Because we want a nice round, shapely. I don't want to go too far there because it's not glued on. So we'll wait until that's glued on to finish it. Grab that. When I get these roughed out, I'll tack glue the rudder on. Sand it to shape, undo the rudder. It's already taken shape. It don't take long to do this stuff. It's a matter of desire. I can't express enough how nice these Durablock standing blocks are. This feels like a block of balsa wood. That light. I sanded all my life. I had to finally get them about 4 years ago. Been sanding with them hard rubber body blocks and all that for automotive. Remember, guys, I can see the chat now, so if you want to ask me a question. That's going to be nice. Now, if you look here where the pencil mark, I'm about 1/8 of an inch away from that pen mark because on both sides, because I want to glue those pieces on and sand into them. I don't want to reverse divot. Let me glue this again, tack again. talked to the lady at Micro Fasteners. Not real happy with AMA. I don't see what good AMA is doing us. Now they're not having any shows. They said drones were the wave of the future. Drones have just about killed us. It's not a good deal. I still think we ought to get with the EAA. They seem to have more juice than the AMA. Doesn't make sense. Don't have to have a license to fly a light aircraft or parasail or ultralight or parasail or whatever, and you can do whatever you want and fly as high as you want, but you can't fly a model airplane without a license and all kind of nonsense. What a bunch of BS. Get government out of everything. Don't need a nanny state. If you can't take care of yourself, you're in trouble. Okay, we did one side, roughed it in, both top and bottom. Let's do the other side. And it won't take long. I'm hoping that this airplane's together, ready to start painting, is it under 20 ounces. I'm hoping around 16 to 18 ounces. We got a 9-ounce wing. I need to make, and let's say it's a 2-ounce stab. It's not though. It's 9, 10, 11. Yeah, it should be. Let's see where we are. Weight on this. How much we're going to lose. Tear. Calibrate. Tear. There we go. I put Tommy Looper in there. And that's at 630, about 6.5. 640, we're going to lose an ounce. 540, gain an ounce. This will be about a 6.5-ounce fuselage after the cowl's done and everything. So let's check the rudder. So that's 7 ounces there. 7 and 9 is 16. 7 and 9 is 16 plus the elevator stabilizer. 18.5. Yep, we'll be about 18 ounces when it's all ready to start painting. Of course, I got to make them wheel pants and landing gear, so that'll add 3. Let's see, that's 18 and 6, 24 ounces plus 6 is 30. Yeah, we'll be way under 40 if I do this right. Because the engine is 7 ounces, that's 37. And yes, I added for the finish. I should be 37, 38 ounces. That'll be a good weight for this. Unless I pour the urethane on, which won't happen. We still got guys out there or what? I can't tell. It's awful quiet. Give them thumbs up. Let's see here. Live chat. Need to. How do you refresh this? I don't know how to work the tablet very well. Let's see. Live chat. Cancel. Anybody know how to refresh this Samsung tablet? Unbelievable. This is terrible. Hey, we typed something in there. Hit that like button. Share it with your social media people. Super chat if you can do it. Hell, I have hinges here. Gee, man, that way. That's a bad thing of having too much stuff. You don't know what you got. Okay. Which one? I started doing this. There we go. I'm going to try my hand at Classic at the match next year. As my buddy John says, you got to fly. Yeah, I guess you're going to have to fly. But I got to have an airplane to fly. Sold my Nobler. And if you ever saw that thing run, buddy, it flies. Ooh, gotta be careful. Almost ground into it where I didn't want to. That's pretty close there. Pretty close. Where the heck did it go? Oh, hiding. Now, this airplane is shaped a little different than I'm going to shape it on the nose. Because one thing that looks the best to me, the nose is the focal point of the airplane. If it's got a nose that doesn't look like, took much thought in doing, I don't think it's very appealing. So oh, starting to drop on the floor. Got to be careful. I don't have to turn on the air conditioner. I got hotter than Hades in here. It's ridiculous. Need a smart heating system, one that keeps you cold and warm. Set it at 70 or 68 or 70 or whatever, and it stays there, whether it has to run the air conditioner or the heater. But here you got to turn them, heat, air conditioning. Let's see how it looks. Check our progress. Cost you nothing. Yeah, I kind of cut into it there. Shoot. Oh well, only wood. I wonder if that is warped. Hey, greetings from Holland, Holly. Hope you're getting something out of the channel. I noticed you didn't join stunhanger.com. I'll put a link in the description when the video is over. You'll find a lot of guys that know what they're talking about there, and some that don't know what they're talking about, but it's kind of like everywhere. Yeah, there we go. We just had a hump in that. I think I'll tack that on, just sand up to it. No, I better not. Not till I get that other side. Perfect. What do we got here? How come I can't see the OBS? 218. There we go. There's the OBS. All right, so this will all get blended together. You get kind of the idea what's going on here. the question about AMA headquarters didn't work. I don't know what. Well, the AMA headquarters is in Muncie, Indiana. I don't know where you think it is, but it's in Muncie. Let me AMA. It's worked for 4,500 other people. So you must be spelling it wrong or not entering it right or whatever. But we got 4,500 members that have answered that question correctly. So try again. That's all I can say. Yep, it might be Muncie, Indiana. I'd have to look. Send me an email at the stunt videos at stunthanger.com. That's on this channel. And I'll check and I'll email you back. I'll email you back some type of resolution. We'll get it figured out. But there's some guys on there that know more than I do. There's a whole lot of guys on there that know some of what I do. And there's a ton of guys on there that know nothing. You're in Holland. Where's Peter Gabriel? He's in Holland, isn't he? Peter's a member of our forum. Federico, buenos tardes. There might be buenos noches there. I don't know. ¿A dónde eres, Federico? If it's Portuguese, I don't understand it. You might be in Brazil. I have a very hard time with Jose Modesto's Cuban. Or not Jose, yeah, well, Jose and Orestes. And we're getting close. You know, if I was at home and I worked on this every day, it'd be done next week. Argentina, well, you speak Portuguese, right? I have a hard time with Portuguese. Have I met you before, Federico? You been to the Nats? Along with Thomas Case, Benet. And to my Korean friends, 감사합니다. I guess I'm a big hit in Korea. I don't know if it's North or South Korea, but I'm a big hit in Korea. And Japan, I've got Kaz over there. Okay. That's good. Did I meet? Oh, you speak Spanish. Okay. Muy bueno. Um, did you come to the Nationals? Did I meet you at the Nats? What am I assembling? I am building a Tucker Special. And this is the fuselage we're working on today. I showed the wing elevator. I mean, I got all the parts done. These I just build this stuff in sub-assemblies. So let's tack this on so it's close now. I can start sanding. I have to tack the rudder on too. The razor plane. Oh, razor plane. This is a master air screw razor plane. And the trick to a razor plane is when you adjust it, don't let the blade stick out very far. This is only sticking out probably 5 thousandths, maybe, I don't know, maybe 10 thousandths. Just barely sticking out of there, and that way you're not peak gouging off a pile of wood. That's too bad. Anyway, it's a master air screw. The Windsor Propeller Company. But you can get them on eBay or Amazon or at the hobby shop, Hobby King or whatever. Get them anywhere. I got a couple of them. Okay, 1 dot of glue there. That's probably a no-no, but 1 dot of glue there. Make sure that's centered. 1 dot of glue here. Ah, man, sticky. Hope I didn't narf it up somewhere. 1 dot of glue here. Of course, it ran all over the place. A little bit of smudges on there. No problem, Chris. Okay, that's tacked on. We're going to tack the turtle deck on, or the headrest on. I think what I'll do today, I don't think I'm going to get that far, get the whole thing done, but I'll get the back half done. Because I still got to dig out the engine parts and stuff. I don't know how long I've been running here. We've been on 19 viewers. We've been on how long? It doesn't say. I don't want to make these videos so long that they're absolutely boring. Yeah. Okay, that's tacked on there. Now let's shape it. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here or not. What I'm doing now is blending the turtle deck and the top block and the headrest and the rudder in together. Carving it with a knife and a dull one to boot. I need a smaller block. That's too big to handle. And I just happen to have one. Durablock. And a new, I need to order some more 80 grit from Amazon. Been using the stuff at work and it just, I had to make them buy it. Okay, well I had a soda, there we are. So what do we got here? 18 viewers, or is that right? 15 likes, 18 viewers, no super chats. And I gotta share this puppy. We can see it very well. Are you? Yes. So are you ending the tail? Yes. I'm putting the. I'm blending this all together. Come on, stick down. Why is it when you want super glue to stick, it doesn't, and when you don't want it to stick, it will? There we go. All right. So let's see if we can get a better view of what I'm doing here. Because I don't have a cameraman, I can't tell whether you can see it or not. But I think you should be able to. And hear the sanding. No wonder why these airplanes were so nice and so light. There's nothing here. They're so small. Easy to build. My Ringmaster 576 has a bigger wing. Try to keep things symmetrical, because if you get it too far out, it's very hard to get back. We're getting close there. There is supposed to be a line at that headrest. I know there is. So I want to leave that line, but I want it blended in nicely. You want a definition, definitely a defined area. This needs to get sanded down. Gotta come down probably 1/8 of an inch, so let's use a long block. Put a piece of tape there so I don't beat it up. Because you know you're gonna anyway. Yeah, it's pretty close there. Don't want to go too far, because then I'm sunk. If I go too far, I have to make a new turtleneck headrest or whatever. Definitely going to have some neat lines to it. I can see now why Ron liked it. Huh. Not a whole lot of talking to going on here. I mean, it's kind of boring to watch somebody sand, but I've had people say, no, we want to see a sand. Okay. What is the final shape you want to see at the fuselage? I want to see this line go all the way back, and I want to see this blend into the rudder. And that's very hard to do without skinning up the rudder, because it looks like I'm skinning the crap out of it already. Want it to look like the back of a sprint car. That ain't bad there. Okay, let's see what we have here. Drop down to 180 and do it by hand. See what I really dug the crap out of that. Yeah. I don't know if you can see that or not. I dug the shit out of it. This is something that I'm going to have to do off camera because it's just too hard to show on camera and do it. Well, it's coming out now. That's better. I just switched to 180 instead of 80. A little more control. Of course, it won't be bad to put a little super fill down it, but kind of wanted to stay away from super fill. But when you guys see it, it'll look just like a plastic airplane. That fixed it. I just can't. I got it fixed. I just can't do it on camera because I'm worried about trying to keep it in the frame and digging the rudder up there. So you guys are going to get what you get because I don't want to screw up my airplane. So I need a good sharp razor blade here to cut that line back in. It's okay for me. Oh, thank you. Very boring. Well, hell, I know how to get that perfect. Cut it off, sand it straight. Shit, what am I doing that for? No big deal. Much better. Okay. See, I'm worried about you guys being able to see this. So let's do that back because that's bugging me. I don't want it. It'll probably be on and off so many times before it's done. Yep. Okay. If you look right here, I dug into it with the sanding bar. So in order to fix that, because that's where it had to be, cut it off, sand it off. Let's straighten that out. And then it has a little spot right there. Now we can glue it back on. It won't bother me. Yep. That's exactly what it was. I want to make sure I get that groove out of there. Like I say, this thing will probably be on and off a dozen times before I hollow it. Oh boy. Yeah. Still gotta go some more. We're getting there though. It's getting there. So I see that line. I want to sand up to that line. Might as well do that so I'm not beating it up. I'll do this side while I got it off too. This thing is getting lighter and lighter as we go. All right. Okay. Okay. Like I say, it'll be on and off there a couple more times. Because this part here on this airplane is also a focal point because of the way it is. You guys ever watch sprint car races and look at the old sprint cars of the 60s? They had that headrest. The roll bar used to go up right over here, and they had a headrest very similar to this. And that's the look I'm going for. That old 60s sprint car Look, now the sprint cars of today, the world outlaws, the bodies have changed along with the roll cages and that. But back in the day of Dick Atkins, Don Branson, Paul Jones, Vukovic, um, oh, I can't remember that guy's name that lived down the street from us. Let's see, Mike Mosley. We used to watch sprint car races at Ascot Park, Gardena. We used to go, I think it was Thursday night. And I went every Thursday. In 1966, I was standing in turn one when Dick Atkins and Don Branson got killed. I think Paul Jones, Parnelli's brother, flipped his car. It was a white #1 car. Flipped his car down the front chute, end over end that night. That track was the craziest track you ever seen. A racetrack loud as hell in the middle of the neighborhood. Right, the subdivision was right there across the street from it. Not like today, you'd have a bunch of whining people. Ah, we can't have that. The lawnmower's running. Different part in time. I wish we'd get back there. This is going to take some time to do. I can see this coming already. To get the look I'm looking for. This has to blend perfectly into this in order to get the look. Otherwise, I'm wasting my time. And we're getting it. I just don't want to add putty. I want to do this all with no putty. I'm going to tack this again. No putty, less paint. No primer, Jap tissue. Yes, Sparky. Let's see. Let's see. In one of the assembly videos, you cut out the fuselage in order to. Yes, I will. See, Sparky. There's a very good. Yeah, Sparky is a very good and active builder. I've seen on YouTube guys all over the world doing control line and running engines like the hobby shop stuff. Well, that's great. Well, I've built a few airplanes in my life, that's for sure. I don't know how many hundreds, but it's way up there. It's way up there. I need to go outside and stand this so I can really grind on it and not worry about the dust going anywhere. see here. I need to sand that smooth. I don't want to dig a big hole. Okay, I'm getting tired. Can't take it. This has gotta get knocked down. Remember, we worked on this. I've worked on this an hour a day till it's done. And it's getting there. Got a ways to go, but I don't have a whole lot of room for more airplanes here, so. Yep, that's right. Yep, I'll cut the fuselage at the high point of the wing, take the front and back half off, slide it on the wing, glue it back together. That's how I do it. That will probably get done over John's, though. Because I don't have a table here big enough. I need to start working on the inside too, this side. Ah. 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 Okay, guys, I think I'm going to call it quits for today. I'm getting kind of burnt out. But what we did today so far, let's turn this down. We got pretty much the look that we're looking for. And as I stated, I'll get this all shaped. I don't know why I can't get the camera to do what I want to do. I'll get this all shaped. And then we'll cut all these parts off and hollow them out. If you look here, the reason why I'm not going to do the nose, if you look here, I've got two lines on it. That's where the nose ring should sit. Well, it's got a step there. Well, I can either take a big old carpenter saw and saw that off, or wait till I get over to John's next weekend and grind it flat on his disc sander. And I would say that's probably a better bet to do. because I'm not in a rush for this airplane. I can tinker with this. I can tinker with the wing, getting the hinges the way I want them. So I hope you get something out of my videos. I know they're Thank you, Mike. I know they're kind of long and boring because they're raw, unedited video. But how much time can a guy put into this stuff? I don't get paid to do this stuff, so it costs me money. Like, subscribe, share, and until I see you again, fair winds, tight lines. See ya.